everyone, it's Froggy and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So we are now on week 7 and we are starting to get ready for the festival and we're going to help Deandre with the food preparation. I'll help Deandre with food preparation. He grinned and clapped me on the back like he'd expected my answer. We made our way to a bunch of tables, each with different vegetables. There were quite a few volunteers involved. What's on the menu?
Right. The lecture was in French. Since people will be coming and going at different times, we're making kebabs with skewers. There'll also be Caesar salad, curry, couscous, pasta salad with tomatoes and peppers, all that good stuff. We'll be cutting the vegetables for the skewers.
Grabbing a knife, I cut the ends off of a red pepper and began jabbing into the center, trying to remove the ribs and seeds.
It's easier if you slice open the cylinder first and skin within the pepper that way. It's true.
I corrected myself and was awed at how efficient it was. Thanks, you're pretty good at this.
Not really. I've just picked up a few things here and there. My mom is a sous chef at a fancy restaurant in Namur. You know, the type where they serve you elegant dishes that you can finish off in 3 bites, and they still call that a main course.
We dropped the chunks of vegetables into their respective bowls and continued. Meals at home must have been the best, huh?
Please, you think someone toiling in the kitchen for 8 hours would come home and lovingly cook yet another meal? We'd all handled that, with some guidance hollered from the living room. She'd be in charge of the holiday feasts, though, making the best turkey with a mushroom-based stuffing. Verdammt was none? I don't know what that means. Oh, I guess that's German.
Rosemary approached the tables, her eyes scrutinizing the students before sitting on Deandre. After sizing him up, she gave a nod.
You, do you know how to truss a pig? Oui?
I tilted my head, unfamiliar with the term.
The pig arrived, but I can't find Augustin. He usually does it for us.
What about asking Hendrik? He should be upstairs.
No, he'd turn a shade of green. I guess he could be a last resort. I can do it. We have rotisseries all the time at family gatherings. Thank you. I'd prefer not to get my hands dirty with that kind of thing.
She pointed toward the driveway. There was a rotating spit suspended over a halved oil drum, propped up by cement blocks and debarking branches. Beside it was a large plastic bag containing something. After Rosemary left, Deandre set his knife down and flashed a winning smile.
How about it, Mel? Want to see a dead pig?
Sure, no.
Yeah? I mean, I guess.
Curse my curiosity. Why not?
Don't forget to wash your hands, just in case.
I dutifully followed his advice and we both met up in front of the plastic bag. I tentatively stepped away while Deandre leaned over and grabbed the edge. He peeled it back, revealing a very, very whole dead pig lying on its side.
Look at her face! And he's like, yeah! And she's like, oh dear God! Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Oh, wow. What a porker. It's gotta be over 35 kilos.
Oh God, it still has a face.
Sweet as. Looks like it's already been salted and stuffed too. Now where's the twine?
I found it first because I already looked away from the grisly scene and simply pointed to the items placed on the stool beside the rotisserie. Noticing my discomfort, Deandre gave me a gentle clap to my shoulder.
You don't have to stay for this.
But then he'd be alone with that. I still want to help.
You can cut the twine. I need about this much.
He spread his hands roughly a foot apart.
5 or 6 pieces would be great. That way I can focus on getting the pig onto the spit.
Relieved I could be useful, I deliberately angled my back so I couldn't see the pig. I tried to ignore the, noises of metal cutting into flesh and sliding against bone. After I sheared the twine, I laid them out on the stool neatly until Deandre ordered me to pass them to him one by one. I kept my eyes averted, and our fingers carefully made contact before completing the pass. You're okay doing this by yourself?
It's a little tricky since I'd like the pig to be held firmly in place, but oh shit!
I saw Pink move out of the corner of my eye. Automatically, I whirled around and grabbed what I thought were the thighs of the animal. The coldness sent shivers through my spine, and the spices couldn't mask the scent of uncooked meat. I'm touching a dead pig, I'm touching a dead pig. Tie it, please.
On it.
The pig shifted due to the twine, and I did my best to immobilize it. When Deandre announced it was secure enough to let go, I jumped back, unsure of where to put my arms, which now stank of dead pig.
Mel?
I'm going to be sick. Ugh.
Feeling better?
I turned the faucet off and hastily wiped my mouth before facing him. A bit. Thanks for everything earlier. I guess that's the perk of being surrounded by a forest.
Hey, good friends point to where you need to go. Best friends hold your hair back when you throw up in the bush. Here's your water.
Merci. I weakly grasped the bottle, then let out a heavy groan, pressing my forehead against the cold plastic. How embarrassing.
It's my fault. I shouldn't have asked.
No, I shouldn't have gone in the first place. I smirked teasingly, then twisted the cap off. Only for you, Deandre.
Well, thanks for going the extra mile for little old me. If you weren't there, I'd have to explain to the team and the many, many visitors why there's no meat for the skewers. Then it'd be me up on that spit instead.
I snorted into the bottle, mid-sip, mentally cursing Deandre's timing. His wide grin suggested it was intentional.
For now, recover.
After he left, I idly picked at the paper stuck to the bottle. I'll let my stomach settle first before rejoining everyone. I don't want to look at another animal pre-rotisserie ever again. Festival time! Where should I go?
See what Kyler and Deandre are up to. We've already seen this, but it was funny, so I'm doing it again.
It was easy to find them. They bickered in French as always. They were hitting rocks over a large, flat stump. Upon closer inspection, the stump had 2 piles of dark shredded material that appeared organic, along with multiple nests of long dry grass. Making a fire? I joined the curious crowd of bystanders, mostly adults with a few children, watching in interest. Deandre fervently struck the pyrite stone together, while Kyler had a methodical motion. Phew, phew! The kids frantically pointed, and Deandre uttered an exaggerated "huh?" with the comical expression. He pretended to fumble with the materials, causing the kids to shout directions. Following their excited instructions, he picked up the tightly wound grass and tried to stuff the black material into its center. He barely touched the tinder when he let out a yelp, pretending to burn his finger. As he nursed it, the kids howled with laughter. Kyler simply ignored the performance, his eyes blazing with determination to start a fire. A white wisp of smoke rose from Kyler's pile, and he fed the sparks grass. At first, I thought Kyler would win their little battle, but the bundle extinguished itself. Groaning, Kyler turned around to grab more grass. Deandre then gazed at the audience and held a finger to his mouth. Shh. With Kyler unaware, Deandre pulled out a lighter, causing another ripple of laughter. Many kids clapped their hands over their mouths to muffle their giggles. With a playful wink, he ignited the bundle of grass, then pumped his fists into the air, claiming himself the victor. Kyler was astonished at first, but then noticed the abandoned rocks.
Tu as triché. Moi? Nah.
Deandre shoved the lighter into his pocket as their banter continued, which was drowned out by the applause of the crowd. Deandre was a natural at engaging with his audience, but I was happy to see Kyler enjoying himself too. The rest of the day whizzed by due to constant hustle and bustle. While guests left, Hendrik asked if I wanted to help take down the extra lights and decorations in the cave. Together with Rosemary and Kyler, we successfully stockpiled the cutouts and wrapped up the strung lights. Is that everything?
Seems so. Thanks for helping out. Switching the lights off now.
I watched Hendrik as he flicked off multiple switches in the wet screen. Room, causing the cave to grow dimmer and dimmer until it was completely black.
Can you imagine being a Neanderthal walking into a cave for the first time? What thoughts they had as they took their first steps inside? These rock formations are pretty cool. Ugh, no, Hendrik. You have no imagination. Melissa, what do you think?
Me? I squinted my eyes and stared into the abyss. Well,
let's just pick one that we've already seen before. It's the perfect shelter, I guess.
Caves are always a shelter, right? So a place to stay out of the rain, cook meat, and hoard supplies.
They were not hoarders. Neanderthals had high spatial skills and kept their living quarters organized. Not in sight of Grotta Borel. Real? I don't know. Most then. I mean, look at us. We're capable of organization, but there's always the odd exception. Like a certain someone who leaves his clothes draped over chairs. But I digress. I like to think caves were more than just shelters. Like a starless night. Oh? You look like you have something to say.
He hastily glanced at the floor, carefully considering his answer.
Well, if a Neanderthal entered the cave for the first time, they'd notice how muted their surroundings would become. Save for footsteps and maybe the dripping of water, without fire, it'd be like witnessing a starless sky. They'd see that the climate inside was stable and their torch's light wouldn't reach some of the higher ceilings. They'd have to gauge the size with more than just their eyes. They'd be entering a completely different environment. Maybe that's why their paintings were drawn so deep into the caves. It was like a spiritual place for them.
The reflective moment was broken by Rosemary's hearty laughter and a slap to Kyler's shoulder, causing him to flinch.
You seriously thought of this before? See, this is what I meant. Imagination. I admit, Kyler, I always thought you were a total bore. What's the term you used once, Melissa?
A square.
Yes, a square. If I'd known that you had a creative side, I would have made a bigger effort to talk to you. Come, let's chat about Neanderthals over some drinks. I'd love to hear more about it.
Rosemary linked arms with Kyler and stepped toward the exit. He flashed Hendrik a frantic save me look. Hendrik noticed and raised a hand as if to halt Rosemary.
Have fun.
He wiggled his fingers goodbye. Kyler's mouth dropped, shocked at Hendrik's total lack of effort, while Rosemary dragged him outside. Will he be okay?
He'll be fine. It'll be good for him. On second thought, I should keep an eye on them, knowing Rose.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.